Hi, my name is Adorasvitak. As many of you may have heard, the healthcare bill for healthcare reform just passed Congress, and I was really thrilled to hear about the passage of the healthcare reform bill. Now, this may surprise some of you. Why does this matter to me? After all, I have healthcare, I'm a dependent, and I won't have to worry about the cost of seeing a doctor or the expense of buying health insurance for at least another few years. So why do I care about healthcare reform? Well, to me, it's about what every kid hears when they're growing up. Help those who are less fortunate than you are. Share. This bill helps so many people in so many ways that I really think the opposition to this bill is grounded in selfishness, misconceptions, and partisanship. The Republicans who oppose this bill, and the opposition is mainly comprised of Republicans, all rake in $174,000 a year. That's the salary for representatives and senators. They have prestigious jobs, which give them untold opportunities. I mean, what would I give to be a representative or senator? A lot. And most importantly, they all have health insurance. They are more fortunate than America's or underemployed who make little and scrape by on no health insurance. A healthcare reform bill would help those who are less fortunate, yet Republicans presented a solid wall of opposition. Why? With crucial elections coming up, it was easier to preach a populist and entirely false message of fighting a government takeover of health insurance than it was to go against overwhelming party dogma and vote for the bill. It was easier to shout, "Kill the bill," than it was to explain the true benefits of healthcare reform. And it was easier to hide an anti-Obama agenda behind a mask of standing up for constituents than it was to help a bill urged on by a president that none of them had voted for. Ultimately, it was easier to be selfish. This is not to say that all those who oppose the healthcare bill are a bunch of self-serving losers. No doubt there are a lot of good, perfectly intelligent people out there who oppose healthcare because they have come across some of the common misconceptions which have shaped their views. Let's start with death panels. People, there are no death panels. Contrary to popular belief, a big panel of government officials are not going to decide whether grandma lives or dies. Rather, doctors are encouraged to speak with patients about what the patients want for end-of-life care. That means asking grandma, would you like to pursue this particular treatment, and if so, for how long? Which is fine. As a matter of fact, I'm not even sure if that bit is still in the bill. It might have been taken out following the whole death panel brouhaha. A second misconception is that this will get us deeper into debt. Yes, it will cost lots of money. However, the nonpartisan congressional research showed that over 10 years it would actually save the government money. The third misconception is that a healthcare reform bill will mean gazillions more in taxes for America's working class, plus force you to buy costly insurance. It will not mean gazillions more in taxes for America's working class. Admittedly, if you are rich, you will pay more taxes, but if you are rich, you can afford it. In other words, you're fortunate. You should share and help those who are less fortunate. What's more, it's not going to force you to buy costly insurance without any help. If you make less than $88,000, and $88,000 is a lot of money, then there will be subsidies to help cover the costs. And finally, it's not like you're going to get executed if you don't buy health insurance. All you do is pay a fine. The vote on healthcare reform, as you may know, split exactly on party lines. Republicans stayed in line with their party's somewhat hypocritical, considering past administrations' records, ideals of small government and no taxes on rich people, meaning that they were all solidly opposed to the bill. They zealously protested the healthcare bill as a government takeover of insurance, despite the fact that the government would not be taking over health insurance. Although many Republicans try to take a populist approach and imply they are standing up for America's working class, they are playing right into the hands of big insurance companies. They really showed their commitment to making a better healthcare bill by attacking every single new idea Democrats or the president brought up, without contributing any better solutions, and went into the meeting that President Obama scheduled to contribute bipartisan thoughts with low expectations and repetitive ideas. Finally, when the healthcare bill was up for a vote, they said that the whole thing needed to be started over. You might have said that a little earlier, folks. As if opposition couldn't get any worse, lunatics start joining the party. The Republican Party, that is. Republican Party Chairman Michael Steele even said about Nancy Pelosi and the Democratic Party, "This November they're going to pay, so let's start getting Nancy ready for the firing line this November." Sarah Palin's Facebook page featured a map with crosshairs showing the voting districts of Democrats who had voted for the bill. Numerous Democrats who had voted for health care reform received threatening phone calls, hate mail, and death threats. The brother of one congressman had propane lines slashed near his house. The fire of right-wing fanaticism has only been exacerbated by Republican rhetoric from prominent figures like Michael Steele and Sarah Palin. Throughout the whole health care reform debate, Republicans have said, the American people don't want this, the American people don't want that. I, for one, am tired of being talked about like some pawn on a chessboard. This is one American who is all for health care reform. Thank you.